Alright, for this post, what I'm going to do is talk as if I'm training someone in side load. And if you get into a garbage company or hired by a garbage company and they're training you on side load, what I would advocate, if they do some investment in time to train you, there's a term in education called chunking. Chunking is breaking a task down into small sections and mastering each one individually before you put it all together into one fluid motion. So with side load, the way I would chunk it is driving this truck, operating the arm, and then being able to navigate using the tablet. So real quick intro, keep in mind I'm also running the route and checking addresses as I do this. Quick intro though is obviously I'm sitting on the right hand side of a truck. We sit on the right hand side so we can look at the carts, the curb that we service. It makes it a little bit easier to find the addresses and line up the arm to grab a cart. And this tablet here is running a program called Trash Flow, where it orders, puts in order all your stops. Like, they do have a routing software aspect to it, but I think it's an add-on charge. I routed this route myself. I didn't use their routing software, but once I routed it in Trash Flow, all I got to do is look at the addresses and hit picked up or mark if there's trash outside the cart or if it's not out. You can also use it to message the office, correspond with them if you want to give them updates on problems or rare instances that happen on the route. You know, if someone throws out a couch or they need a text message about how to, you know, set trash out or whatever. Anyway, so all that is done on the tablet on this machine here, and I got it mounted right next to the cup holder, so it's easy for me to let go of the joystick and just check off there. Boom, marked it as picked up. And then I, you know, it's right over the cup holder. This is a cup holder I got off of Amazon. I've mentioned it before. This monitor over here is for the trash body itself. So when you look at a garbage truck, it's not one company that built the garbage truck. One company built the truck, another company built the trash body mounted on the truck. I can think of maybe there might, or I can't think of all of them, but there might be like 12 or 13 manufacturers that build a side load body. Alright, I'm going to do a tricky move here, a 3-point turn at an intersection. I don't like to do this, but it is hard to route this neighborhood with loops since this is the outside rim of my route. And the neighborhood itself has it doesn't have straight grid streets, it's kind of got these weird loops to it. So I put this turnaround here because it's the least traveled or lowest traffic area, as opposed to doing it on the other side of the neighborhood, which is a major arterial. Get really good with your mirrors and blind spots if you're going to do that. I'm marking that one not out. I just hit other and put trash is not out. This one is not out either. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So as I was saying, there's probably 12 or 13 manufacturers that build the body for the trash body, and then a handful of other manufacturers that make the truck that the body goes on. In this instance, we're driving an autocar truck that has a New Way body on it, and then New Way calls it the Sidewinder. A lot of people confuse it with a Labrie, but in this instance, we're driving autocar truck with the New Way. New Way puts that monitor there that kind of gives you a status of like what's proxy sensors. Like if the body's up, it'll have a sensor for that. Tailgate's open, sensor for that. The arm going out, if it's not properly stowed, it's blinking because it's not stowed all the way, but I'm checking my mirrors to see how much that arm sticks out. Like, it's a nice feature, but I never rely on that sensor to tell me my arm is not stowed. I got a mirror right here where I could just visually check it and make sure it's stowed, so when you're passing vehicles on the curb, you're not going to hit them. Most customers or residents are pretty upset when you hit their vehicle with a garbage truck, so we avoid that. And don't rely on the monitor there to tell you what sensors are, triggered. Use your visuals, use your mirrors. And then we got this monitor here. You can see that it's set as a split screen. I have it split screen for the backup camera as well as the hopper cam, and it automatically switches to a full screen hopper cam when the arm goes up. Some guys like to have it full screen hopper cam all day. I like to have it split between the two, because every once in a while, like, yes, I got my left and right side mirrors to see traffic coming up behind me, but there is a long blind spot behind the truck that I like to visually check just at a glance. As the arm's going up, I'm also looking at what's behind me before it switches to full screen. I feel it gives me a little bit more situational awareness about what's coming up behind me or what's about to pass, because it's not an instance right now or an issue right now, but there are moments where you're hugging the curb and you have to veer to the left to go around a car parked along the curb. When you do that, it puts you into the next lane, and if you don't know there's a car passing you, it can cause a collision. It's a big headache, because they hit you from behind, so the liability is like, oh, well, they hit you from behind, but you were also pulling out into another lane, and instead of having that whole deliberation, just don't have the incident. That solves the problem. And you don't have the incident by having better situational awareness. Better situational awareness just comes from having more visibility all around. So those are those screens and monitors. I'm not relying on them entirely. On the right side of this mirror, or on the... I had to check for my camera. I wasn't looking for the camera. Keep an eye that it's still mounted there. On the right side of the truck, this top mirror, I use that for like 90% of the time to line up my arm with the grips, or the arm with the cart. The larger mirror, it's very easy for carts to be outside the visibility of that mirror. This mirror, that's the larger one in the middle, I use that mostly to look straight behind me to look at what's coming up, or who's trying to pass. It's this top one that I rely on because it gives you a little bit of an above angle view of the cart, and it makes it easier to line up from that higher vantage point. And then when you got to use maximum reach of the arm, that curvature makes it so it's still visible. You'll notice that in a lot of stuff I post, like I'll turn my head around, or I'd be kind of cranking around. That's when I'm trying to line up to grab something that's like an extra or close to an obstacle. That's where I kind of need both eyes looking at it to get a better depth perception. We're going to take a little moment to let the pack plate catch up with this kind of bulky trash. But I kind of got off topic. I was talking about chunking. So there's the driving of the truck and running of the arm. I would chunk that separate from running the tablet. So when you're running the tablet, you're looking at the map, you're looking at your addresses, and then you're inputting information. When you first get started, that can be overwhelming because you're trying to learn the user interface for the tablet while operating a commercial vehicle close to mailboxes and parked cars. So even to an intelligent person, it is overwhelming. So if you're being trained and the people training you want to be diligent, what I would recommend is you have to be somewhat self-aware about what you feel most comfortable with. And then you work on the one you're weak in the most. But if we're starting totally green, I would have the guy being trained sit in the spectator seat over to my left, and I would give him the tablet. So I'm pretty good about, I know this route. I can run the pattern of this route without the tablet. And I wouldn't be able to put input in without the tablet. So we'd be running a little blind as far as corresponding between me, the operator, and the office. But if everything was down, as long as the truck is running, I could get the trash empty. So I would give the tablet to the person being trained and say, I just want you to focus on learning the user interface of the tablet. Look at the house addresses, get used to being able to find the address if it's mounted on the house, by the door, or by a garage, or on the curb. I'm looking right now out of my peripherals, I can see the addresses on the garage. And I can scan pretty quickly for like the top 2 or 3 places where an address is going to be, and I can find it, and I can look at my tablet and mark picked up. Boom, done. But I'm doing that in microseconds, right? It's just all instantaneously, but I've done this literally hundreds of thousands of times. So it's easy. And I've told people this is the easiest hard job out there. When you first get started, you're getting up real early in the morning, you're tired, and you're overwhelmed because you're learning the truck, and you're learning the tablet, and you're learning the route. Like, you're learning everything all at once. But if you could break it down into small chunks and then make it digestible pieces, you can catch up pretty quick. Alright, checking that off. So yeah, the person over there would be running the tablet. It's like, I want you to get fluid with being able to hit picked up, or marked other and not out, or other, and if there's trash outside the cart, because we do charge for trash outside the cart. It's a policy we implemented because a lot of people weren't using the cart we provided. And you could ask people nicely, hey, put trash in the cart. And they're like, that's nice, but I'm not going to do it. It's like, okay, but we charge for trash outside the cart. We lost a couple customers to a competitor over that policy. Majority of the people are pretty chill, and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because it is cleaner, faster, and safer when trash is contained in a cart with a hinged lid. And if it's overflowing, you got to consider your cost as far as like the time it takes to service that extra trash and the weight that you're putting on. Those all increase your cost. It's still not the most popular policy, but if you want to pay your guys living wages and have dependable equipment, it's probably something you want to do. Every once in a while, I got to do a camera check. Alright, so once you get good at the tablet, like I would start with the tablet first, but maybe you're fluid with the tablet and you want to start with the truck. That's fine. Then me, the operator, I would sit over there with the tablet, and I wouldn't make the guy do both the truck and the tablet at the same time. It's like, okay, you got good with the tablet. Now put 100% of your focus on operating the truck. I want you to be fluid and confident and competent. Both of those words, confident and competent, because you can have people that are confident and not competent, and they're dangerous. They're going to break stuff. I'm switching to grip override, because if I let the truck auto grip on this cart here, it's going to squeeze the crap out of it and break it. Some companies do not service personal carts. They have a good reason not to do so. It's easy to break a personal cart. They don't tip as easy. You can see this one's not emptying as well. It's because it collapsed. And I'm going to loosen the like some trucks will not let you open your grips when it's this one's particularly bad this week. Usually the service is a little easier. We're not going to get it all this week. All right. One of the takeaways I want you to see is, like, I like this customer. I've met her a couple times. She's pretty cool. I give her a lot of, cut her a lot of slack because she gets it. So I'll service that one because I like them. But there's a lot of customers I would not allow that, because you can see how much longer it took to service, and it's just not as efficient as the carts we provide. They're more robust. This guy's passing on my left, right at the bottleneck because he can't wait, which, whatever. But notice I wasn't looking at him. I can just see him in my peripherals using the mirrors and the cameras. Alright, so you got good with the tablet. We got you over in the operator seat. And this is where the liability comes into play, because you have this massive steel arm reaching out that is hydraulically powered and has a lot of destructive potential. And you can rip up mailboxes, tear off bumpers, and do all sorts of damage if you're not paying attention. That is why, even though if I've got you initiated into using the tablet, I don't want you using the tablet and the truck at the same time too early. I want you to do the tablet first, the truck next, and then last you put them together. So you get both chunks separately, and then you put it all together at the end. So this here, this area, that is all related to the controls of the trash body. New way, put that into the autocar. Autocar designs these trucks to accommodate controls from whatever implement they put in. So Autocar builds trucks for the trash industry, but sometimes people put cement pump trucks on them, or highway stripers, a whole list of stuff. It's a vocational design. I saw that Corolla turn around, and I'm kind of watching them to see what they're up to. Sometimes it's someone trying to chase you down to say, hey, you missed me, even though they didn't set it out. This is going to be tricky. Sometimes I can get this to work, sometimes I can't. So we'll nudge it up. This was a grandfather scenario. This might not work. This is someone that's like, oh, we're not, shoot. Yeah, see, that's why we don't do that. 1 second. I'd say 7 out of 10 times I can grab that with the arm. The issue this week was they put a food product in there and it sat out overnight, so something tore into that bag before I got to it. I maybe wouldn't have gotten it serviced because it was a little low to the ground, but it didn't help. Something tore the plastic. That's because it's food product on the ground. We allowed a few people to grandfather over from not using the carts. Like, there might be an elderly person that said they didn't want to roll the cart around. And we're like, fine, we try to accommodate. It's not my most favorite policy, but going forward, we do not let people sign up without taking a cart. As you can see, I keep saying cleaner, faster, safer using the carts. Well, that kind of demonstrates it. Anyway, so if you are in the operator seat, and you're going to notice right away that you're not as fluid and smooth as I am. Now, I'm good, but I'm not going to argue I'm the best out there. There's thousands of guys doing this job, and they can do it very well. And that's fine. I'm not trying to be the best. with the content I'm making, I'm just trying to give some insight on how garbage works and be entertaining to an extent. You know, as much as it is entertaining for some people to watch. There might be a kid that likes to watch the garbage truck, and this is a really good channel for that. But what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, there's the controls here. That all these controls are related to the body itself, and then everything else is the truck, as far as turning on lights and operating differential axle or all the different features. But these controls will be turning the PTO power on, opening the rear tailgate, lifting the body to dump it out, or choosing between the auto pack being on and off and how many times it cycles. So I got strobe lights on. I turned my work lights off because it's not dark anymore. And then I got the auto pack on. You'll notice that blade in the hopper keeps going back and forth. That blade gets triggered every time the arm goes up. If the arm stays up, it keeps cycling. And you can choose between having it cycle 1, 2, or 3 times. Also, I can turn the grip override on or off. So as this arm goes up, you can't see it, but it's actually starting to engage the grips to squeeze it harder. That way you don't drop a cart into the hopper. If I'm grabbing trash outside of the cart, or if I'm grabbing a personal can, I'll have a grip override that turns that feature off. So the grips will not tighten as the arm goes up. And I can also open the grips when they're over the hopper. They don't want you opening the grips over the hopper because you can drop your cart in there. Our company's a little unconventional in that we allow people to set trash outside the cart. Just checking the tree branches, hitting that camera to make sure the camera doesn't fly off. Whoop. Since we're grabbing trash outside the cart, we use that grip override to toss things. It's a neat little feature. It's kind of entertaining to some people to see what you can grab with the truck and, you know, yada, yada, yada. But it's really not what the truck was designed to do. These are designed to grab trash carts, right? And we don't have, we're not as fast as other companies out there for a couple of reasons. One, we're allowing trash outside the cart. That's going to slow you down a lot. Also, we're not a contracted area, so the customers I'm servicing chose our service and signed up for it. So we don't service every house, and we have a competitor that serves some of the other houses. This truck could potentially do 200 carts per hour if they're all lined up as they should be. Now, we'll do 90 to 100 stops an hour, which is pretty good. It's better than, having a crew of guys running a rear load. A lot of people have a debate about, this automated truck replaced jobs. Maybe it replaced some bad jobs, and that's a whole debate in itself. But our option or our choice was pay few guys well to support families, or do you pay a lot of guys not well? That's not a living wage. That's the simplified version, but that's the approach we took. Anyway, I keep going on tangents, but there's a lot of stimulus going on as I run this. I'm running the tablet, running the truck, and then looking at my addresses and trying to explain what I do as I do it and why I do the things I do. But if you're over here, you've learned the controls. At some point, it's just like playing a video game. The first time you play it, you're gonna suck. As you get good with the controls, you'll learn to be a little more confident. And a lot of the customers will be pretty good about their cart placement. And then it keeps it simpler for you to learn. And every once in a while you'll get a tricky one that's close to a mailbox or close to a car. I'd just say exercise caution, or just get out of the truck and move things around. This is a bit of a disaster. I don't know. We'll see what we can do with the grips. Did that truck go around? Yes, they did. Yeah, this is so the grip override is on. So I can open the grips when it's over the hopper. Oh wow. Yeah, this is... We do not want to encourage this kind of behavior by doing it for free, because then a lot of people will start doing this. And you're going to go from 90 stops an hour down to 25. And that gets expensive. Alright, so I'm holding the grip buttons. You notice I didn't turn the grip override back off so it would grip the cans harder. Instead, I would hit the grip button to hold it tight so it won't fall. Alright, grip override is back off, so as the arm goes up, it will grip tighter. And notice that even though it's gripping tighter, it's not collapsing the cart to hold the cardboard in the cart itself. And we'll charge $5. I'll be generous, because there's one extra can and garbage outside the cart. I could probably argue it's $8, but I'll cut them some slack. My rule is if I get out of the truck, it's $5. And some people might say, well, it's only one box. It's like, well, if it was just one thing or one item, usually you should be able to make that to fit. Again, not the most popular opinion. We're not trying to be the most popular. We're trying to get the better, cleaner, faster, safer service. All your neighbors usually appreciate it when your trash stays in the cart and goes to the truck, as opposed to on the curb in the yard and get blown around into people's lawns. Alright, that is... well, that's this area. That was pretty quick. I'm going to take the camera down because I got to go to the transfer station. I don't want to be bouncing around that camera outside the truck. Maybe we'll shoot a little bit more later. I kind of covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. I think this is a nice spot to stop.